Welcome to lesson number 2 on making spreadsheets, introduction to spreadsheets. And what I'd like you to do is open up Google Chrome, please. And you will probably need to log in to your Google account. And once you've logged onto your Google account, over here on the top right-hand corner, it says we've got Google Apps. And we can go to Google Drive. You can also get to the Google Drive by going drive.google.com and signing in. Once you are there, click on New, select Google Sheets, and go to Blank Spreadsheet. You'll open up a blank spreadsheet, wait for it to load, and click in the title section on Untitled Spreadsheet, and I'd like you to call this Spreadsheet Lesson 2 Line Graphs. All right, Spreadsheet Lesson 2 Line Graphs. Awesome. Okay, so I want you to click in cell B2 right here, and we're going to do 1 to 10 again. So first of all, though, we're going to put the number 1, and then we're going to put the number 2. Now, before we copied them all the way down, we highlighted and copied it all the way down. But before we do that, we're going to just change the formatting a little bit, just to kind of show you. So over here under horizontal align, we're going to say center. And I kind of like these guys to be the color blue. So I'm going to click right here. See where this A is right here? If you hover over top of it, it says text color. And I want you to select blue. Tell you the truth, you can pick whatever color you want. All I care about is you know how to change the text color. All right, so now that we've got that, we're also going to, actually I think we'll just leave that for the moment the way it is, nice and blue, and you're going to select all of them. So the first thing is you click in the 1 and you click and drag down so that way you've got both cells selected. See this little square right here on the corner? You're going to pull that down till we have till you're at B11, and that means you now have 10. And see how they're all in blue and they're all centered. So it copies the formatting all the way down, which is really nice. Okay, so we are now going to also add in the test number 1 is what we're going to do right here. And then we're going to put this guy over on the right hand side here. See that? This little alignment puts that over on the right hand side. And we're going to we're also going to put this in italic. I kind of like that. That's nice, and a nice soft color too. This right here is the color, the fill color, and we'll put in a nice, I don't know, how about this one right here? So it tells us light magenta 3. Okay, now did you see how I made that mistake right there? See how I accidentally clicked in this section so it made it magenta, that cell. If you make a mistake, totally easy, Command Z on a Mac, or you can go here, undo, which is this arrow right there. So we click back in the cell that we want, and we pick the light magenta 3. Awesome. Okay, so now what we want it to do is we want it to count from 1 to 10. And if I just grab this and I drag it down, okay, it actually knows automatically. It takes a wild guess and says, hey, you know what? Why don't you, we're going to make this from 1 to 10. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't know. So you have to just put that down here, and you change this guy to a 2. And once you've got 2 in a row, then Google Sheets will see the pattern that you want. If you wanted it to go up by 2s, you actually would need to show it that pattern, or maybe I'll show you how it goes up by 3s here. So I highlight these guys right here, I drag it down, and boom, you can see that it goes up by 3s. Don't really want that. I'm going to back this up and drag it back down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. And we're going to put our old friend Bob in here, Bob's marks. And we are going to put in, let's do some counting up, actually. So let's start off. Bob doesn't do so well. He gets 4, and then he gets 8. And then we're going to highlight these 2 and drag it all the way down. There it is. Okay, poor Bob is actually still not doing terribly well, but he's getting better. Okay, now here is the difference. Actually, hold on. First of all, let's actually put in an average here. You see how this is highlighted? Okay, which means we can automatically go over here to functions. So before we put in the average, we typed in the formula, but over here under functions, you do have a whole bunch of different things that we can have it look up. My goodness, there are so many, but we're going to go to the second one here, which is average. Boom, hit return. And because it was highlighted, it automatically finds the average of these numbers. Right? So we're going to put this guy, we're going to click on this cell. We're actually going to drag it down 1, right there like that. Okay, and let's increase the size. We're going to change the size to 18. And right here, we're going to type the word average. Actually, I'm just going to go AVG, if that's okay by you. Now, that looks kind of small next to this average right here. So click on the 22. See this paintbrush right here? If you click on it now, and whatever you paint on, it will add the formatting the same. And that's kind of nice. So there we go. So we've just done that. Excellent. Next is Frank. Good old Frank. Frank's marks. Oh, we'll go Frank's marks right here under E1, and Frank does a whole lot better actually. Frank, he's a pretty good student. We'll start him off with an 85, and then he goes down to 70, and then he goes up to 90 and 100. I kind of like this. This is cool. I'm actually going to highlight these 4, and I'm going to then see what Google does. I'm going to drag this down here. I have no idea. Oh, look at that. Well, you know what? We can't have it doing the going above 100%, so Command Z. So rather than having it do that, I'm going to go Command C to copy. I'm going to click underneath and go Command V to paste that in. There we go. So see how it just copied that whole set right there? Okay. And I'm going to highlight these 2, Command C, click here and go Command V. Boom. So there it is. I now have these guys all copied. Now, I want the average of these marks, Frank's marks. So if I click in 22, and actually I'm going to double click, and it's going to show you the outline. It says, hey, it's finding an average, and it shows you D2 down to D11 right there. Do you see that? So it's showing you it with this little, with this rectangle, where it's getting its stuff. And if you start clicking on things, it's going to add that to this formula that I have here. So if I click on that, whoops, it didn't, and that's actually a good thing. Sometimes it does. All right. So, one of the interesting things about Google is that they are constantly updating it and changing it. And so you kind of find things that have changed over the bit. It makes it a really great thing to do tutorials for. Okay, that was sarcasm. I want to get out of this. I can click out of it, but I'd be worried that it added stuff in. So I can hit the escape button. All right, this is highlighted. I want to drag this sideways to the right. And what it does is it creates an average right here. If I double click on it, you'll see that this goes all the way down here. So now what I'd like you to do is I want you to click right here in the white cell up above test 1. I want you to hold down the shift key. Now when you hold down the shift key, it picks everything in between. So what I want you to do is hold down the shift key and click on this bottom mark of francs right there. See how it picks everything in between? Great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a chart. So we're going to insert chart. See this button right here? You can click that, or you can say insert chart. And it picks a chart that it thinks is appropriate. I'm going to grab this bottom corner and pull it down a little bit. I'd like you to do that, please. And everything that I do, I'd like you to do, please. Okay. So next thing is you will notice we've got Bob's marks are a different color than Frank's marks. Google Sheets took a guess at what it thought that we wanted. And it's a pretty good guess, except for the fact that today we don't want a column chart. We want a line chart. We want that right there. And you can see that Bob just had a steady line going on upwards. You'll notice that's actually a slope of 4. So going up there. Frank had his ups and downs, literally, but he was much higher. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I want to draw your attention just quickly to the 2 series. We have Bob's marks here, Frank's marks right here. You can remove any of these. You can add in labels if you want or whatever. Click on Customize. Good, let's open up Chart Style. And we want to change the background color. Pick a background color that you like. I'm going to go, no, I don't really like that. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit more. There, that's nicer. Awesome. Chart border color if you want. If you want to change the font, go for it. I'm going to keep it the way that I like right now. I'm going to scroll on down. By the way, if you click on smooth, it evens out those lines, which we don't really want. So we're going to close Chart Style and open up Chart and Axes Titles. So if you want to play with the chart title, then you're going to be, whoops, I closed that. There it is right there. Bob's marks and Frank's Frank's marks right there. We can change our font maybe to wide, and font size, maybe we'll go, what if we picked 18? It was on auto, which made it just kind of fit into place. What if we go 24? I like that. That's good. Okay. And we're going to italicize it. And the text color is going to be, I kind of like the auto. It automatically just picks that. I'm going to keep it on that. Change it if you want. Okay, then I'm going to close Chart and Axis Titles and open up Series. And I want you to change, or see where it says under Point Shape? I want you to click on Circle. Even though it already says Circle, if you click on it again, boom. Now you've got each one of these points is shown to you as a circle. You can decide that you want one of these or anything like that, like X's or whatever. I'm going with Circle. They are a little large though, so I'm going to put them down to 7. And I want you to add data labels right there. So now you can see actually what each one of these are. Good. Okay, so I think we're good for the moment on that. Let's close series, and we're going, if you want to, you can change legend. That's these guys right here, Bob's marks and Frank's marks and that kind of thing. I'm not going to change any of that. Our horizontal axis, that's this along here. I like putting these guys on a slant. I'm going to go with 30 degrees. I think that's really kind of nice. And then if you want to change the text color, you can. I'm not going to. Vertical axis is good. And I'm not going to change any of that, but I am going to change the grid line ticks. And where are we at? Right here. I'm going to go with major ticks. So there you go. It has those ticks in there. And if you wanted to change the line thickness or the line color, for instance, I don't know, let's make it green. Boy, that didn't really change it that much, did it? Maybe if I made the line thickness. It was that line right along there. Yuck. I don't really like that. I'm going to put it back. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. That's all I want you to do. That is a line graph, a double line graph actually, showing Bob's marks versus Frank's marks. And I'd like you now to submit it for lesson 2, line graphs. Thanks.